everybody, how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, today I have this recipe of my Nkwobi to show you. I have Nkwobi in my collection, but I just want to make a new version of how I make Nkwobi. By the way, Nkwobi is a delicacy from the Igbo land, and it's made from cow feet. And some people use goat feet or lamb feet, but I'm going to use cow feet to make this today. So if you're ready to see how I do this, please come into this kitchen and let's make it happen. Come on, guys, let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how I make my Nkwobi. With this, all you need is your cow feet. Some people add goat feet and lamb feet to the cow feet, but I'm just doing this plain. So I got my cow feet and I had them cut into tiny chunks. You don't want them really chunky because you want to make Nkwobi. You're not cooking stew with it. This is just Nkwobi. So make it as small as possible, as tiny as possible. And what I did here, I divided the meat into two after cooking. I will tell you what I did with each half of them. So you season. Now we're going to season with anything that you want to season it with, but these are the things that I season my Nkwobi with. I like to season my Nkwobi really good. I want the seasoning to really get into it. So the first thing I add is my chopped onions. You know, I love to use a lot of onions when I'm making Nkwobi. So this is about three onions in there, and then I'm adding my stock cube. This is no chicken flavor, and I'm adding my salt. And I'm going to add my ground crayfish. I like to use a lot of crayfish when I'm doing this to season the meat. You add as much as you can. I add a lot. I like crayfish in seasoning my cow feet. And here I'm adding my this contains dry red pepper and some Cameroon pepper. I mix them together and I added them here, and I'm adding my water at this point. Guys, cow feet takes a lot of time to cook, so you have to add enough water to cook it at the same time. You don't want it burnt, so add as much water as you can here. Here I'm adding about half a liter of water, and 2 liters of water, and I'm going to mix it in. I'm mixing in the whole seasoning into the meat. You really want it to get into the meat. You don't want the meat to, just boil and season on one side. You really want to mix everything in with a wooden stick or with a spoon, whatever comes in handy for you. You use it. So after mixing this in, I'm going to cover this pot and I'm going to let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. Cow feet takes a long time to cook, so I advise you add some, meat tenderizer. I did. At this point, this is about 20 minutes later, I opened it and I'm mixing it in one more time, just to make sure that the seasoning gets into the meat, guys. You want this meat to be really seasoned before you start to make your Nkwobi. So add in your seasoning, let it cook for a while, open it. I'm going to let it cook for more 10 minutes, and that's it. The meat is right, everything is good. Some of the water has dried up. You still have a little bit of water, but most of it has been dried up, boiled up. So at this point, this is where I divided it into two, and I scraped out the meat from one part of it, and then the other part I left the bone on it. Remember, the bones are not really big. They're not chunky. It's just a little bit of bones, but I don't want to do everything with bones, so I did half of it removed from the bone and half of it cooked with the meat. And it doesn't really matter. That's just my choice. You can do it whichever way you want it. And after this, I'm going to start making my Nkwobi. Guys, follow me now and see how this delicacy is done, so you don't waste your time going to the restaurant to buy this. Here in America, it's like almost $25 to eat a bowl of Nkwobi, so you can just make it at home and eat it. So I added my palm oil to my dry pot, and then I added my potash. I poured some water into the potash. I dissolved it and I added the water in, and you can see that I sieved it in. If you pour everything, it's going to be sandy, so sieve it in, and then you mix it up. And once you're done with that, you add some onions. You see, I love onions in this. And here is my crayfish. Yes, crayfish again. And I'm adding more stock cube, not a lot, but a little bit more. A little bit of salt, because I already have salt in the pepper. And now I'm adding my ehuru, which is the chief ingredient of this delicacy. Without ehuru, this food cannot taste right. So you add your ehuru. The ehuru is already roasted and blended into powder. That's how I do it. If you watch my other Nkwobi recipe, you see how I do my ehuru. And at this point, you add your Nkwobi. Remember, your stove is really on low heat. almost like nothing. You don't want it to really be on heat as you're doing this. You mix it in, you pour the meat in enough quantity, and you mix it in. Guys, this doesn't take time. And like I told you, I love onions. So there goes another bunch of onions. I'm still going to use more onions for this. I love using onions, adding onions into this. It gives me more taste. I don't know about you, but that's what it is. And now I'm adding my chopped habanero pepper. You can see that this is going to be spicy, but I promise you it's not too spicy. So you do what you can do. Make sure you make it the way you can handle the heat. Don't follow me with the heat. I just love the heat. And that's it, guys. This is how my Nkwobi came out. Really nice. And like I told you, I use more onions. So here I garnish it with a little bit more of onions. Sometimes people add otazi into it, but I don't want to add otazi, so I just garnished it with onions, and there I am eating my delicacy. Guys, this is really tasty, and I want you to try it very soon. Thank you so much for hearing me today. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, it's ciao, bon appetit, and see you later.
Are you hungry? Yeah, come to mama's. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Yeah, come to mama's kitchen.